If you've ever felt like your story should work, but something just feels off, you're not broken. Your outline is. Thousands of best-selling books and nearly every hit movie follow a surprisingly simple 15-beat structure. And once you understand it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Today, I'm going to walk you through the Save the Cat beat sheet, the story structure that helped me and thousands of writers finally finish much stronger drafts. We'll break down what each beat actually means, when to use it, and how to avoid the most common mistakes. And if you stick around, I'll also share how to apply this structure to your draft, even if your story is already written. For the past decade, I've helped authors publish books that sell. Books that have landed film and theater deals, hit bestseller lists, and even been picked up by major publishers. I've worked with both first-time writers and seasoned authors alike, and I've seen one truth repeat itself over and over. It has nothing to do with talent. It's about structure. When a book isn't working, it's almost always a story structure issue, and that's exactly what this video will help you fix. Let me say this up front, because anytime I mention structure, authors worry that it's going to limit their creativity, and it's not. It's actually here to unlock it. Save the Cat started as a screenwriting book by Blake Snyder, but then Jessica Brody adapted it for Novelists, and it became one of the most recommended writing guides out there. This beat sheet works across genres from thrillers, romance, fantasy, and memoir. You name it, it will help your story. Now, I've personally helped dozens of authors restructure drafts using this method, and the difference is honestly night and day. Because once you hit the right emotional rhythm, readers stop skimming and they start to really feel your story. So let's start Act 1, the setup and shift, as it's known. You need to start with something called the opening image. Think of this as the before snapshot of your hero. It's a single moment or a short sequence that shows their world before the story begins. If your story is about transformation, this is where you establish the baseline. Think of Frodo in the Shire, or Katniss out hunting, or a mother hiding from her problems in a quiet kitchen. You need to ask yourself, what do you want the reader to feel at this moment? Do you want them to feel safe, lonely, trapped? Next, you need to state the theme, and this is one of the most misunderstood beats. Somewhere early in your story, a character, often not the protagonist, says something that hints at the deeper lesson of your book. If we take Legally Blonde, someone jokes that Elle isn't Harvard material, and in The Hunger Games, Effie says, "May the odds be ever in your favor." These aren't just throwaway lines, they foreshadow the transformation your character must go through. Now we move on to setup, and this is really the first 10% of your book. You need to introduce key players, the hero's flaw, their goal, and what's at stake. See how their world works and how it's about to change. Great setups are active. Your protagonist should want something, even if it's simple. Without that, readers feel like they're waiting for the story to begin. Now, step 4 is the catalyst, and this is the inciting incident, the big moment that disrupts the hero's status quo. It could be a death, a breakup, a mysterious letter, a job offer, a pregnancy, a betrayal. It forces your character in a new direction. And a pro tip, if you will, this event should be external, unexpected, and irreversible. Now, beat 5 is all about a debate. Your hero doesn't just leap into action. They resist, they doubt, they debate. This human moment will make your story a lot more relatable. You know, should they take the job? Should they join the rebellion? Should they trust that stranger? And by the end of this beat, they make a decision, and everything changes from there. Now we move into Act 2, and Act 2A to be specific. This is fun and struggle. So beat 6 is breaking into 2. This is where the protagonist says yes. They step into a new world, a new mindset, or a new situation. This can be literal, they travel somewhere, or it could be metaphorical, they open up emotionally. Then beat 7 is your B story. And this is where you introduce your key subplot. Often it's a relationship that reflects or contrasts the main story arc. Think of it as a mirror. While the A story is about the external plot, the B story often explores the theme through character interaction, romantic interest, it could be a best friend, might be a mentor, or even potentially a rival. Beat number 8 is all about fun and games, and this is really the heart of your premise, the moments your readers came for. The detective solving cases, the hero doing his training, the awkward dates, the world building, or those classic action montages. It should still include tension and stakes, but the tone is often lighter, more exploratory. And a pro tip here is these are often the trailer scenes, so really make them unforgettable. Now we move on to Act 2B, and this is really the turning point. And this starts at beat number 9, which is known as the midpoint. And this is, of course, as you would expect, halfway through the book where something huge happens. This can be a false victory or even a false defeat. Maybe they get what they want, but it comes at a cost. Maybe they lose and realize they've been going about things the wrong way the entire time. Ultimately, this is a turning point, both in tone, pacing, and purpose. Then we move on to beat 10, and this is where the bad guys start closing in. Things start falling apart. The antagonist gains strength, the hero's old flaws resurface. This is really where doubt, fear, betrayal, maybe even exhaustion are creeping in. And even internal bad guys such as fear or imposter syndrome or addiction really show up in full force. Then beat 11, where everything is lost, everything crashes, the plan fails, someone dies, a secret is exposed, a friendship breaks down. You're not just breaking the character, you're breaking the illusion that they can win without changing. And this whiff of death is crucial. And it doesn't have to be literal, but it should feel emotionally devastating. Then beat 12 is the dark night of the soul. Here's where your protagonist really feels it. They feel the grief, the doubt, the shame. They start to question who they are, whether they can keep going. Was it even all worth it? But in the quiet of this low point comes clarity, a new truth, and a new way forward, which leads straight into Act 3, which is all about transformation and payoff. And beat 13 is where you break into 3. Now that the hero is armed with the truth, and often usually this is inspired by the B story, the hero decides to act. And this decision reflects the theme. It's not just strategy, it's growth, which leads you to beat 14, which is your finale. And this, of course, is your climax. But it's not just about winning, it's about proving the transformation, about resolving inner conflict through external action. The hero gathers the team, he executes the plan, there will be a surprise twist moment, then he has to dig deep and execute a new plan and resolve it all. This is the point in the story where readers cry, cheer, or they just drop the book in awe of what's just happened. And it leads you right into beat 15, which is the final image. Show us the mirror image of the opening. The same location, but now changed. The same words, but now with new meaning. Or the same person, but completely transformed. Stick this landing, and readers will remember your book long after they finish it. If you're overwhelmed with trying to make your story fit this structure, or you've written a draft and it just isn't quite landing, well, we offer developmental editing to help fix story structure, pacing, character arcs, and more. The best part is you can get free feedback on your first few chapters. Links are below. We'll help you map your story to these 15 beats and figure out exactly where you're going off track. Now, here are a few bonus or advanced tips if you really want to take this a bit further. You can shuffle the order slightly, but crucially, never ever skip the emotional low points. Think of each beat as a question the story is asking and ultimately answering. You can layer mini beats within chapters, so pacing. A scene can actually reflect multiple stages. And if you really want to challenge the structure, that's great, but learn the rules before you break them. Structure doesn't ever replace voice, originality, or theme. It's simply there to support them. If you found this video helpful, make sure to join our free newsletter below. It's packed with structure, breakdowns, editing tricks, and publishing strategies. So I've even said it's the best writing newsletter in the world, and I'll let you decide by giving it a read. If you enjoyed this video, well then make sure to watch the one YouTube is recommending for you up next. I'm sure you'll find that one just as valuable.